And welcome to another weekly analysis on E-mini futures. We are looking into the S&P 500 index futures. Saturday, April 1st, looking into April 3rd. I have drawn the levels and looking at the profile charts, and I'm going to look at the profile charts a little bit towards the end of this video. But let's look what happened. It's as from my last week's analysis, it did started going up, and that's the bear channel or the bear flag that we're looking into. So sell off, squeeze, and we have to see if it breaks out. But I played as I planned, 39.90. I took my long and I got out at this 40.69 level, so I think it was like 40.60. Then I had a runner, and when it retests that 40.60 level again, I again got in, and I have now, I think I have still a runner left here that I am trailing by 20 points. My goal is to see if we get here to that 41.65, but I may get stopped out before that. So pretty straightforward levels, nothing changed there. But before we go into the volume or the TPO analysis, let's look at a few of these areas. So a gap here for sure, so let's adjust this level here, and we will say that okay, we need to fill that gap for sure. A huge gap up and started climbing, and I think there is a gap somewhere here. That's a gap there. So 42.38, and looking at the bigger picture, will it go and fill that gap? Usually the market always fills that gap. At this 41.31 level, there is a cluster here, so 41.65 definitely something that I would like to see. I was actually surprised on that 40.70 level or 40.69. I was assuming it will provide some kind of resistance, but it didn't. And the reason behind that, that's what I think, is that it sold off from there, retests that level, sold off. There is not enough selling orders or sell orders anymore there after testing that once and twice. So it just broke through that. So I was definitely did not do the proper analysis there, and hence I actually got stopped out once when I took a short there. There was a maybe a 15-point loss there. So no foul, no offense, because I did again take reset my bias, went long from there and added to my runner world, and I actually took some profit also, so made up my 15-point loss there. That's the part of the game. There is no way I'm going to win all the time. So that's what I'm looking at. Simple, nothing fancy here. There is a cluster of here. We'll see if it holds, because this is the test of this level first time, and hence I am trying to see if I can get a short here. And I want to go to the, let's forget about the Keltner channels. That is just overall I want to see where I am in terms of, so let's look at this. So I want to get to a trend line here. If you look at here, that's a TPO cluster, and this is the value area here, and we broke out and we started making a, I would say, more of a fair value around 40.82. So I'm going to update this level to that there, right there. And this is on the weekly TPO, and obviously there is a cluster here which we can now confirm, as I always say that we have to confirm this. And that cluster is at 41.31 level. It just broke out, and the next level is this high area here. And so we'll see if it holds this 41.31 level. I'm going to leave my level there and not correct it to 41.38, because it may be a stop hunting there. I want to see if that holds, and if it holds, then, and if we retest from the top, I want to take another long there, taking profit out at 41.65. Now going back to our simple chart, it's going to take some time to load. There we go. Overall, let's look at our I don't know, we can look at the 1 year weekly. I'm thinking. Now let's actually look at the 10-year weekly here. If we look at the 10-year weekly and you just zoom out, if you see here what's happening, the market sells off, bounces, sells off, bounces, sells off, bounces ever off this one. So you would like, hey, this is going on a breakout. Does not. And it's doing pretty much, if you see now, this squeezes are now pretty small in comparison to the sell-offs. So if you just remove this channel here, I'll remove this trend line here. So if you see here on the weekly, it's making a W here, right? So that is the level there where we are looking at 41.93. So let's change our 41.65 to that level right there, and it may go up a little bit up there to 42.06. So it's a zone there. Now it's making a W there, but overall this trend of these squeezes are getting, small, pretty small, and the sells are pretty hard. So I'm being a little bit more cautious here because I'm not sure yet about these squeezes as the buyers have control. This is a weekly. The first week, very strong volume, and you can see the volume decreasing, but the chart's going up. So if the buyers are losing control, who is going to gain control? The sellers. So I'm really, I think, going to tighten up my trailing stops and get out and make some money and just wait. I'm not going to hurry, just wait to see if the sellers show up here to start selling this market. And if they do, which in a way, when I was looking at the VIX futures, they do look like, the volatility is going to increase. And if they do, and we're going to confirm this, if NQ is the only one which is pulling ES up, then I would like to be on the side of the trend, which I think now is going to be a selling trend because they're really losing stream. Now, where do you see where buyers are really in control, right? This is, I think, 2020, the 224.20, the February 20, the big sell-off, and then starts getting up. So look at here, the volumes are pretty low, right? The volume stays low, 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 low all the time, and this is the big sell-offs, but the volume is pretty low, and it does break out from here. So just because the volume is low here, I'm not going to assume that the sellers are going to show up. Just I want to find out if they're losing steam and the sellers will hold these areas. If they don't, that means if the seller doesn't hold this 41.80 to 4200 area, then there is a breakout, and I'll just change my bias and go with the buyers at that point of time. So I'm cautious here because there is a trend, there may be some chop, and then again a trend. So I want to avoid the chop and be with the trend. So if there is a lot of chop, I don't want to swing. I would go and sell, somewhere here or somewhere here, some options, weekly or bi-weekly options, and just let them expire and make money from there. And when the trend comes back, I'm going to join the trend again and be with the trend. So I wanted to point that out. That's all I had for this week. As always, keep your stop losses tight, your losses small, and your profit at large.